Hey best friends, it's been a while. This is Stephanie, aka Drills Our Girl's Best Friend on Instagram, and Prickly Chocolate Star Bitch at the moment on YouTube. Here from WIP Chat for Claws and Paws, which I haven't filmed in a long time, so please bear with me. But before we get into anything, hop into the lazy river. It's warm in here because it's a pet-friendly river and all the doggos pee in it. Hi guys. Yeah, it's been a long time. Even when I was doing these before, I was not very good at them, but I am working on All Dogs Do Go to Heaven. It's a Mandy Manzano that's licensed by Diamond Art Club. We are in this area here. If you see, there's a notebook there. It's because I might be hiding some things I'm not ready to show yet. But by the time this goes up on Friday, you might already see it. So, working with some items from some of our sponsors. There are other sponsors that Laura has the items. So anyway, this is from Butterfly Resin Gems, Elisa. She made me this really pretty tray with a big old doggo because I have 3 big old doggos. So she wanted to use a big dog instead of a little one. And then she made this for me as well. It's a trash cover binder made out of resin, and it's my favorite color, seafoam green, and with gold foil in it. She also made this cover binder, which is a seafoam green moon, and then a clear star with a little bit of gold foil in there as well. This is from one of our, well, this is a twofer because this is from Butterfly Effect Wears, the blank. It was gifted to me by Elizabeth, which if you stick around for that part of the video, you'll see all of that. But this is one of the black prismatic pearl ones. And Matt turned it for me over the weekend to make sure I could use it for this because we want to support other small shops. Doesn't matter if they're doing the same thing that we're doing. We can all be friends. And then I've got, this was made custom for me as a gift, but it says chocolate starfish with a little starfish. And then there's also a star on the stopper. There is like a crystal in there. I put that in there because I was bored one day and realized that you could fit drills in the eye. So there's that. And then I am using Randa's hard and sticky formula. You can totally see where my elastic used to be. This is awapui and sea berry. I'm gonna take the opportunity to sniff it, not lick it. You don't eat wax, guys. Don't eat wax. Randa actually asked me to be one of her guinea pigs to test out the hard and sticky formula. So she sent me a few batches. I think the one that she settled on, unless she changed it after, she sent me that one. All of those were unscented, so I was really excited to get a scented one. I have noticed it works weird for me in my climate because we live in Georgia, and if it's really muggy and humid outside when there's like a rainstorm coming or going, it makes it more like, it makes it softer, so it starts to leave a little bit of residue. But when it's not like that, it works amazing and it makes a great popping sound. So yeah, there are other sponsors. There's Saban is a sponsor, and Patriotic Team, Craftably, Jade, Just Mind Your Business. We've got a lot of wonderful sponsors. So yeah, and now that I've showed you everything, I think I can start. I don't know. I'm probably gonna be like, oh crap, I forgot to do this before I started. You may hear my fan. I am very sorry, but like I said, I live in Georgia and my craft space is actually in my closet. We have a huge walk-in closet, so Matt cleared it out so that I could have space in here to diamond paint, which is great because it's quiet and it's small, but also like there's no windows or air vents in here, so it gets pretty warm. Whoop. Maybe I should have done that before I brought this down. So for those who are new here, a little bit about me and my family. I am exactly 38 years old. Then there is my husband Matt. I don't know if he wants me to say what his age is, so I'm just not going to, but he's Lazy River, and before anyone asks, he is definitely back out there with turning pens, and hopefully soon we will see a drop happen, but we don't want to commit anything. Matt says he's really enjoying not having like a concrete timeline, and he's been churning them out, so just gonna do what he's been doing, and whenever we feel like there's enough, we'll let you guys know. Ooh, no, that's not what I want. Normally I start left to right, but since I'm hiding that other side, I had to come to this side where there's not really anything that I'm going to be adding. So the plastic is kind of covering a little bit. Okay. We have a 15-year-old son. His name is Aiden. He just started high school this year. Yeah, we start really early. He started last Thursday on the 4th, I think it was. He was really nervous, but he said it's good so far. He's really enjoying it, so we'll see how it goes. If you're new here, there's more about Aiden and past WIP Chats. What the heck? There's like something on, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, there's been previous WIP Chats about him and the struggles that he's had, but all that's really relevant right now is he's autistic and has ADHD. He had a rough time a few years ago, but he's been in ABA therapy since May of 2021 and has been doing amazing since. So we're hoping to keep that going. We have 3 dogs. We could have had another dog, but we'll get into that in a minute. I don't know if I said I'm exactly 38 years old. Like today, Monday, August 8th, is my birthday. So I'm filming. That's why you're seeing some gifts that I've received at the end of the video. There will be like unboxings of multiple people's gifts that they sent. You don't have to stay for that. I'm going to give you guys the keyword before that, but if you want to watch, it's there. Just before anyone starts getting toxic in the comments, please remember that we are people and we have feelings too. I have a massive complex about getting gifts. Like, it makes me very uncomfortable because I'm not going to get into the whole thing right now because we need to keep it light for Claws and Paws, but all my WIP Chats always end up depressing. One of my parents used it as a manipulation tool to seek forgiveness or love for bad behavior on their part. So I kind of see it's getting muggy and I can't use it. Oh, well, I'm gonna switch out. Be right back, guys. And we're back. Sorry about that, guys. I should have known better. I looked outside and it was sunny and it was really nice out when I started filming, but it turned gray real fast, and so this started getting a little bit softer like I was talking about earlier. It works for me very well at night. Just during the day it's kind of off and on. So I am now using WIP 3.0, which was my absolute favorite. So I'm lucky I have quite a few of those. I have quite a few of those from Laura before she stopped making them. So it'll last me quite a while. But hers wax, the 3.0 formula anyway, if you haven't used it, is more hard than sticky. And I'm sure you guys see it. I like to go like beyond the tip because I'm a really light placer and it lasts me like days. Sometimes I just have to reshape it, but it lasts me days without having to change out. Anyway, as I was saying, I think parent used it as a manipulation tool. So for me, like, it always made me very uncomfortable to get gifts, because especially surprises, because it always felt like there were strings attached. I remember like being 5 one time that he gave me something and I kind of was like, do you really think this makes it all go away? Like, I just need you to be better. I don't need things. So yeah, but over the past 2 years, I've developed friendships in this group, and they've kind of worn me down a little bit. Some of them scare me. Laura. Most of them I've made enough of a friendship that I know that when they say there's no expectations, I believe them. So yeah, they sent me gifts for my birthday. You can be in the comments and make comments about that if you like, but that speaks more about you than it does me and my friends, because I'm not gonna let you rain on my parade. Okay? Yeah, so anyway, this community was built on kindness and generosity, and not just birthday stuff, but random acts of kindness have been done behind the scenes that no one talks about because we don't do it for that. YouTube is not the best place to make new connections if you're new to the community. So get in IG, Facebook, usually private messages or messages that start like publicly but move to DM. Usually that is where you develop more of a friendship, because you can be unfiltered and uncensored, and it's only between you and that person or that group of people, and you know that it's not going to go anywhere else. So yeah, so that's that. There will be gifts later. I have one from Laura that is sitting here that is still unopened. I've just been looking at the pretty holographic paper. I was gonna open it this past weekend, but then Matt mowed the lawn on Saturday, and apparently he has allergies, so he got all stuffy and gross feeling. So then we were gonna do it yesterday, and then when yesterday came around, I'm like, it's close enough to the actual day that I might as well wait until the actual day, because I know whatever it is, it's from Jada Gem Shop, and very extravagant of a gift, but Laura does what Laura wants, okay? She's stubborn. Don't mess with her I tried to like tell her no, but she insists on showering me with her love anyway. Yeah. If you know me, you know where my mind just went. But yeah, I will just open that later. My good friends, Katie, you might have heard of her. I'm not really sure. Diamonds and Washi. And Jacqueline, she doesn't have a YouTube channel, but she is fabulous over on Instagram, and her name is Diamond Art Sparkles. So they sent me a joint gift that at first said it was going to arrive today, but it's not going to arrive until tomorrow. Thankfully, Matt has a few days to edit, so we'll see if we can add that in as well. So before I go any further, I am really happy to be hosting Claws and Paws with Laura. I've debated off and on over the past couple of years about whether or not I wanted to host an event, but it seemed very overwhelming to me. So I kind of always shied away and was just like, no, not worth it. Also, like this past year, if you've been around with my back pain, there was no way I was taking anything like that on. But Bree was unable to host anymore, and Laura reached out to me and asked if I would like to join her, and I offered before she got to ask, and here we are. So yeah, let's talk about doggos. All right, I got 3, like I said. We have Dexter was the first one. We're not completely positive. Like, we haven't done the doggo DNA tests or anything. And he ain't that bitch because he's a boy. But from pictures that we've looked at and how he looks, he appears to be some kind of shepherd, either German or Australian shepherd mixed with a beagle. So that's a very weird combo. He is spaz. We got him when Aiden was 5. It was not too long after we moved to Georgia. We lived in Florida before. Matt's originally from Virginia. I'm originally from Massachusetts. So after we moved here, Aiden was getting ready to start school, and I'm like, oh, you're a big boy, so you get a doggo. Really, I just wanted a dog. We had a couple of cats when I was older, like in my teens, but when I was little, I never had any pets. So we went to, I think it was animal control down in Savannah. It was a kill shelter that was over by animal control, and he was a little puppy. There was 3 of them, and one rushed right over. One was not interested at all, and then one was like a little hesitant at first, but eventually came over, and I was like, that's the one I want. Just because he like had to suss us out, and I feel like I'm very much that way. Like, I'm kind of guarded at first because of issues with manipulative parent, but anyway, but ultimately, like, he decided we were safe, and he decided to come over and say hi. Let me tell you, this dog is a spaz. Like, he freaks out over everything, and sometimes it's really sweet. Like, I remember when Aiden was really small, a UPS driver, like, Aiden was like 5 or 6. To us, that's really small because Aiden's always been small for his age. He was born with a heart defect and never had the growth spurt that they were expecting him to have after surgery. So anyway, a UPS driver came to drop off a package at our apartment, like, really late. It was like after 8, and Aiden was in bed already. and Dexter freaked out. But then he laid in front of Aiden's bedroom door and just whimpered and whined until we opened the door so he could see that Aiden was safe and okay. So, like, we get annoyed sometimes because it's like, oh, an ant went by outside, so he's barking. But there are times where he shows his protectiveness. So he was our first doggo, and then and he's like 10 now. A couple years later, we got Jarvis. He was from a rescue, and our friend was fostering him. I think she was fostering him and his sister. But she had shown pictures on Facebook, and hopefully Matt will be showing pictures of our dogs throughout this. And she had posted a picture on Facebook, and Jarvis was a little puppy, and he had a big old head. They said he was a boxer mix. I think he's more like a pit mix or Staffordshire mix. Now that he's grown up, he is very laid back and chill. Like, that's my dude. He just wants to lay down and take a nap. And then, so anyway, our friend Nicole was fostering him, and then I think they were having issues with the two dogs being together, the brother and sister. So someone else ended up fostering him for a little bit. Ultimately, we adopted him, and he and Dexter became best buds. Our dogs are very weird. They're also not very social. We're not the greatest at socializing them. They only accept puppies around here. Like, if we decided to bring in a new dog, unless it's a little dog, they're not gonna allow that. They're very territorial. But if it's a puppy that grows with them, then they're okay. So yeah, we got him, and then there was a while that we were volunteering at the shelter, but it's down in Savannah. We're like 45 minutes to an hour away, so it was hard to get out there all the time to help clean up at the camp. But they had a litter come through, and they were named like Full House characters. Yes, by the way, I single place, so I don't use putty. That's why you see this here. And if I did use putty, I would be using Randa's, but I don't use putty because I don't multi-place. I like the repetitive motion of single placing. Anyway, back to the topic, because I like going on tangents. So they had a litter come in, and they did like a Full House theme with the dog's name. So one of them was like DJ or Michelle, one was Steph, and then there was a boy named Tanner. So we went out to the camp and got to hang out with them and picked one out to foster, which happened to be the one named Steph, and I fell in love with her. She was a small little doggo. Like, she was a doggo that could sit comfortably in your lap. She was very cuddly. Jarvis really liked her. He was definitely big broing it. Every time they'd go outside, everywhere she went, he would just like walk right beside her, make sure she was okay. He always was like close by, making sure that, you know, things were cool. And yeah, since the other two are bigger, they're not really lap dogs. This one, like, I'd pick her up and she would just sit with me on my lap while we watched TV, and it was glorious. both Aiden and I really wanted to adopt her, but Matt said, no, we have 2 dogs already. We're not going to adopt another dog. So, people were putting in applications. Eventually, they had a family picked out for us to go do a meet and greet with. So we did that. And they ultimately ended up deciding to adopt her. And the day after she got adopted out, Matt said we should have kept her because he noticed her lack of presence. He missed her. So I'm sad we didn't get to keep her, but I hope her new family loves her and is taking care of her. And then there was like an emergency call out to volunteers that a puppy had been dropped off to a vet. It wasn't the vet that they used, but that vet brought it down because they're on the same street. They're just a few miles apart. So that vet brought it down to the vet that the rescue uses. And apparently someone brought that puppy into the vet and said, you need to take it, because if you don't take it, I'm taking it to get put down. So they took the dog and they got in touch with the shelter, or the rescue, and they worked it out for him to go to the vet that they use, which is the same vet that we use for our dogs. And they put emergency call out to see if anybody could go pick him up. So we did. We picked him up and we were gonna foster him. We should have known on that first day, because Matt was holding him while we were driving home and he promptly pooped on Matt's leg. So he was already claiming his territory and was like, yep, this guy's mine. I'm staying here. So we were fostering him. People were putting in applications. Matt wanted to keep him. I asked the rescue about us keeping him, and they actually kind of tried to dissuade us from foster failing for some reason. I think it's because they were afraid that they would lose us as a foster family for the dogs if we kept. They called him Nemo because he has a split in his ear and it kind of curled up. It's something he was born with. So they called him Nemo, and I think they thought if we were gonna keep Nemo, we wouldn't foster anymore. So they were kind of trying to dissuade us from that. They had us meet a family for a meet and greet. That family decided they didn't want him. I mean, he's like a black lab mix. He was a puppy, and all puppies go through the bitey phase. And it just so happened that when the meet and greet happened, he was in that bitey phase. So they thought he was aggressive and they didn't want him. And then they gave us the go-ahead to adopt. Matt was the one that was really pushing for us to adopt him. And I was like, we couldn't keep the other one. We're not keeping this one. But it did kind of make me sad when we went to the meet and greet, because I was like, oh, I have to say goodbye. I don't want to say goodbye again. But since that family backed out, they did give us the okay to adopt him. We did that. And we're not fostering anymore. I mean, right now I couldn't anyway, but I was really turned off by them trying to dissuade a family that wanted the dog from having the dog. It just felt weird to me. It didn't sit right with me. So we stopped working with them. Thankfully, one of like their main volunteers that kind of helps run things, she started her own rescue. And her rescue is more geared towards like pibbles is what they call them. It's pity mixes, pit bull mixes. Yeah, I don't know if it's a term everyone uses, but they call them pibbles because it sounds sweeter and less scary and doesn't have that negative connotation that the media has created with pit bull mixes or straight pit bulls. Again, let me tell you, Jarvis is a pit bull mix, and he is the most laid back of our dogs. So back to formerly known as Nemo. We adopted him. Matt wanted to name him. I named Dexter. We were watching a lot of the show Dexter, and then Aiden wanted to name the second dog, so we gave him some options that we would be okay with. He ultimately chose Jarvis, which is like the guy in the suit that talks to Iron Man. It's like his little suit butler guy. So Aiden picked that, and then Matt said he wanted to pick a name for this one, but he couldn't come up with anything, and I was just throwing a lot of suggestions out there. And I was like, well, what's the real name of the guy who plays Black Panther? Because when Nemo was a puppy, he liked to like crawl up onto my shoulder and like try to dig his claws in, his little nails, and he acted like a cat trying to get up on my shoulder. Like the way he was attempting to crawl up me reminded me of a Black Panther. Matt said T'Challa. Ended up really liking it, so he chose that one, and then says that he hasn't gotten to pick out the name of any of the dogs because I suggested the name. I don't know. He chose it. He didn't have to choose it, but he chose it. So I think you should take partial credit, but you guys let me know. Anyway, he is a black lab mix, and he is very affectionate, like extremely affectionate. Always wants to be around, always wants to get pet, but he's also mischievous. He likes to get up into stuff he knows that he shouldn't. He also knows that like if there's something going on outside, Dexter will go crazy. So there have been a few times that we've caught him go over to the front door and stick his head out. Like we have like the little glass side panels on each side of our front door. So he'll stick his head out there and look and just let out one single loud bark to set Dexter off. And then he'll just walk away while Dexter's going crazy. And we look out there and there's nothing. So he's just doing it just to get Dexter going. But yeah, we have 3. I love them to death. I wish that like they could sit in my lap, like I could shrink them. It's really hard to bathe them now as we're getting older and because of my back this past year. So if we get more doggos, we'll probably get like Steph-sized doggos later down the line. But right now we're happy with the ones we've got. So yeah, one of them was from a kill shelter, and then the other 2 were from the same rescue. So there's that about the doggos. And I don't know what else to talk about today. Oh, well, I guess for the ones who have been around for a while and the ones who haven't, like I'll catch you up real short. I've already caught you up on Aiden. I don't know where I left off with my stuff, but if anyone's wondering about my health stuff, after I saw a pain management doctor, he listened to me, still wouldn't give me any medication, but they did an MRI and found that I had like a massively herniated disc at the L5-S1, and it was like up on the nerve. So still wouldn't give me medication, but they had me do physical therapy. I did notice an increase as far as my strength goes, but it wasn't helping the pain at all. In fact, it was often making the pain worse. During that time, they did a steroid injection. It did not work. It worked for 2 days, and then I was back in pain again. So they did a second one because they said some people need 2. So I did a second one, and that also did not work. Same thing. It worked for 2 days, and then I was back in pain again. So when I went to my follow-up after the second injection, they're like, well, you know, we can do physical therapy again. I'm like, what are the options now? Because we've done the steroid twice, and I'm tired of doing these steroid injections just for like a glimmer of hope and then to be let down again. So she's like, well, we could do physical therapy again for 6 weeks, or we can refer you to a surgeon. And I'm like, can I think about it? So came home, kind of mulled it over for a few days because I was afraid to do surgery. But someone in the community, her name is Kristen, she also had the same issue, and she said that she had a specific surgery that helped her like right away, immediate relief. So that kind of calmed my nerves about having surgery. And also, like, I had already done 6 weeks of physical therapy and it didn't work. It didn't help. So if it didn't help the first time, it's not going to help now. So if surgery's just the next course of action, then might as well. And then I could do physical therapy again after to rebuild the strength so that I don't cause damage again. Because once you've herniated the disc, you can do it again. Also, like as you age, you kind of lose some like bone density, and the surgeon did say I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, went to see the surgeon. Surgeon did an x-ray so that he could verify like what was on the MRI. He saw the same thing about it hitting the nerve, so he recommended a microdiscectomy. So what that is they make like a small incision in your back. I don't even know if it's an inch, but they make a small incision in your back, go in, and they cut off the part of the disc that has herniated. And that's it. That's all it's supposed to be anyway. So he recommended that, which is what Kristen had done. And I was like, yeah, like, he's like, if you want time to think, and I'm like, nope, I want to do it because I've talked to someone who's done this before and she's talked about how much it's helped her. So went ahead and scheduled that. I had that done. After, when he was talking to Matt and I was still like coming out of anesthesia, he did say that there was more deterioration than he would have expected to see in someone my age. So when I saw him later, I asked him what that meant, and it just meant like just gonna need to monitor it a little bit more. I don't know if it's because when I was on birth control, like I was doing the depot shot for a while, and that can mess with your bone density. and I was starting to get, oh man, I forgot what it was called, but it's like a precursor to another thing that I forgot what it's called. When you're older and you have bone density issues, you take a medication called Fosamax. Well, there's other ones, but that's usually the main one. Anyway, it's like a precursor to that stage. If you want to know exactly what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments, and I will look it up after I'm done filming and be like, duh, stupid, why did you not remember that? Or maybe Lisa will be in the comments already, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I was starting to get like the early stages of that disease. So they had me come off it, and they said, you know, when it's not that far along, it will be reversible, like it'll go away. We never did another bone density test after that, after I came off of it, so I don't know if it reversed. I don't know, but had it done. I was expecting, like Kristen had, like to have almost immediate relief, and like 2 weeks post-op I had an appointment, and I was scared because I was still in pain, and I was like, it didn't work. I re-herniated it somehow, like what's going on? I was stressing. But when I told the doctor, he's like, oh no, it's totally normal. Like, you've had this irritating the nerve for like a year. It's going to take some time for it to like relax and calm down and start processing things correctly. He's like, it's going to be like 4 to 6 weeks before you notice any like real significant difference. And that ended up being true. I've improved a lot. There's still some days where I'm hurting a little bit, or if I move a certain way, it'll hurt a little bit. But they did say at my 6-week appointment, they did an x-ray and looked at it, make sure everything was okay. They did say it could take up to 6 months total. Like, I could still feel muscle spasms and stuff like that. But it'll slowly start dropping off over the course of 6 months. So yeah, much better. I did an assessment on Friday for physical therapy, which an assessment is pretty much push you as far as you can go. So I've been quite sore. It doesn't help that we're constantly having storms, so the change in pressure messes with me. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know I got a visit from someone. No one asked to come. She didn't RSVP. No one sent her an invitation, but she's here. So yeah, the past weekend hasn't been the greatest, but whatever. Today's my birthday, and I have presents from people I love, and I'm gonna get cake. Matt's working, Aiden's at school. So Matt's gonna bring home a cake on the way home. I mean, it's a little bar cake. We're not getting anything like extravagant, but still is chocolate. And that's it. So yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. I'm really happy to be doing this event. I'm really happy to be doing this kit. I had seen Jacqueline, again, Diamond Art Sparkles. I had seen her like do some stuff to the wings, and I was like, oh, that's so pretty. And with this being something that I'm going to donate either to the Pitney shelter that the one volunteer branched off and started, or to our vet, because Laura had a great idea with that. I kind of wanted to make it fancy, but at the same time, I didn't want to make it ugly. So Randy's been great because I can send her like pictures of what I'm doing and what I have in mind and like bounce it off her, because I told her, like, I blinged out things before, and I'm like, my barometer of whether this looks okay is to post it on Instagram, and if it looks good, like, I will know it looks good if you comment on it and say it looks good. Like, if you are like, oh my god, that looks so good, then I know it looks good. If you don't say nothing, that's when I worry. Thankfully that hasn't really happened, but yeah, I knew what I was going to do. I just needed someone to tell me, like, is it too much, or should I pull it in a little bit, rein it in. Jesus, can't speak. I hate that I keep saying I need to film more often, and like, I don't know, because I don't have any money. Eat a drill every time I say like C does. Anyway, see? Oh, there we go. I knew what I was gonna do. I just need someone to tell me if I needed to like rein it in and it's a little bit too much and it's gonna look gaudy. Whatever. New drinking game. One for Edward and one for me. Edward at Enabler's Outpost. If there's any references or jokes or anything that you see me a part of or make, whether here or in a live, and you would like to know, I'm not trying to exclude anybody. I am more than happy to let you guys in on the jokes so that you can be part of them too. So just DM me and I will explain it to you so that you can understand why it's funny. And feel like you're part of the group. So I'm just looking at this pen because I have like the light on my phone because it's pretty dark in the closet. And I'm like on this end of the painting, but my light is over there, so the lighting wasn't the greatest for showing off the pen and all that. So I turned the flash on my phone, and look at that shimmer. It's so pretty. You guys did a great job, Butterfly Effect Wears. I see why people were obsessed. And it was funny because like Elizabeth bought it for me and she told me after, like, she was gonna have Edward maybe turn it for me, but she said, like, I know that you said you can't have any pens that aren't turned by Matt. And I'm like, no, it's not that. Like, if it's a gift or something, yeah, but I don't feel right paying for a pen when I have Matt. It's kind of like if I were to hire a sex worker to fulfill my needs. I have a husband right here who lays beside me in bed every night and is more than happy and willing to do it for free. So why am I spending money? And that's kind of what it feels like. Like, he's right here and willing to make me pens for free. And it kind of feels like I would be cheating if I bought a pen from someone else. But if it's a gift, that's different. So anyway, little tangent. I don't know what else to talk about. Don't really have much going on. I do plan on getting back into the true crime videos. Oh, I'm so bad. I just remembered I forgot something. All right. I do plan on doing the true crime videos again. There was a while where I wasn't taking Aiden to ABA at all after my surgery because I wasn't supposed to like be in the car for that long. It wasn't a good idea, so Matt would leave work a little bit early so he could pick Aiden up, and I would just drop him off and come home versus sitting in the car for like 5 hours straight. And that's usually when I would do my research. But now I'm back, so I will get started. But the next case is a serial killer, so I don't know how long the research is gonna take. I'm also kind of thinking about like not taking notes and just like reading as much as I can and winging it. Still doing WIP Chat style, but like not so recited. Like I'll have to take notes because the victims' names and stuff like that is super important, obviously. But kind of a more laid back conversational approach. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments if you like true crime. Anyway, back to Claws and Paws. So what we're doing is Laura did a WIP Chat last week on her channel, anxietyartadventures. We will link her below, but if you're here, you probably already know her. She did a video last week and she gave a keyword. And then this week, I'm going to do a video and give a keyword. And then when Laura does her next WIP Chat the week following, she will announce the winner of the prize from her last WIP Chat and give a new keyword. And then the following week when I do my WIP Chat, I will announce the winner from this video and also give a new keyword. So my train of thought, because I kind of thought about this a little bit and I kind of want to make it fun. My train of thought is kitties, which is like, it seems like this month is more kitty focused and next month is more doggo focused. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. But Laura has cats, I had dogs. Laura also has a dog and she had other dogs. But since it seems to be cat focused this month, I was thinking about their little toe beans. Because the little toe beans are so cute. And then my mind went to jelly beans. And I'm not like the biggest jelly bean lover. I like the Starburst ones. And there's a few flavors of Jelly Bellies that I like. But anyway, toe beans to jelly beans. So the keyword is jelly bean. Just jelly bean, not jelly beans. Jelly bean. So in the comments below, use the word jelly bean, but obviously, like, don't just say jelly bean. This makes it super easy for you. Just tell me what your favorite flavor of jelly bean is. And in 2 weeks, we'll do a random number generator or however. I don't know how they do it. They do the comment thing. I'll have to ask Laura like what that site is. But yeah, you isolate the comments and the ones who use the keyword. And jelly bean, let's make it like one word together. Because I don't know how it is with spaces. But yeah, go through the comments, isolate the people who use jelly bean, and it picks a random winner. Unfortunately, this prize will be US only. We do have, Laura has a week and I have a week where it will be international. But with sending out prize packs of multiple things, because our sponsors have been really generous, it's just kind of hard to do right now since we're doing this for 8 weeks straight. It's a lot of out of pocket for shipping. I don't know if Laura said what the prize pack is for her week, But for mine, you will get, obviously not this one because, you know, but Munimade has made a special tray for this event. So you will get a set of both the large and the small, I believe, of the Munimade, and it'll be customized paws and claws on the side. You will get a Lazy River pen. This is not our blank, but Matt is waiting on some supplies because he's gonna make a special pen specifically for this event. So there will be a Lazy River pen, but I don't have anything to show you right now because he's waiting on some supplies. And everything will be shipped at the end of the event. So at the end of September, we will ship out all the prizes all at once. And then there will be a pack from Randa. So you will get a putty and a wax from Randa. And then 2 cover minders by Saban. So yeah, we tried to make it kind of even so that every week it would feel like equivalent, which was a little bit of a task, but we did what we could. Okay, guys. And I think there's Munimade cover minders too, but I haven't received my package from her yet, so we haven't figured out that part of how we're gonna do it. But that's it for me today, I guess. I'm sorry if I bored you. If you have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comments. This video is going to be long. I knew that once I started, I wouldn't be able to stop talking, and I'm sure I spent 10 minutes just saying Anyway, if you want to stay for after I say bye right now, there will be multiple clips of birthday gifts that I have received. And if you don't, that's totally cool. That's why we're doing it at the end and not attached to how you can participate in the event. But I recommend you stay because there's some pretty great stuff. And my friends are the best. But yeah, any questions or anything, drop it down in the comments. Reach out to me on Instagram. I hope you guys are enjoying Paws and Claws, or Claws and Paws. I keep getting it backwards. I'm really enjoying it. I'm hoping I get this done by the end of this month because there's another kit that I would like to do for September, but we'll see. And that's it for me today. So you guys have a great day. Let me know how you are because I forgot to ask that at the beginning because I'm a little bit of an ass. And let me know what your favorite flavor jelly bean is. Leave us a like if you're new here and you want to hang out, at least for as long as we're doing Paws and Claws. Claws and Paws. Steph, come on. So like, ugh. I need to remember that it's alphabetical. Claws, Paws. Okay. So if you want to stick around just for this whole thing and then unsubscribe later, I guess that's fine, but it might make me a little sad. So don't do that, please. Leave us a like. I think I said that already. See, there's new people who are like, oh, this is such a mess and so over the place and blah, blah. Like, we're all start somewhere. And if you take long breaks, you kind of get out of the groove. So basically, don't stress it because we all start somewhere, and just the more practice you have, the better you get at doing these, and it'll become a second nature thing. I keep saying that to other people, but I don't say that to me. I'm just like, I'm just not going to do it because it sucks. But I love Laura to death, and she's the best. And this event is for a really great cause that I care a lot about. And I love that Laura has offered to donate to a shelter and actually make a difference with the grand prize. So anything Laura wants, I will do. I'm like that for all of my friends. Well, there are limits, because I know some of the people who might be watching this, there are limits to what I will do. So no freaky stuff, okay? But yeah, I'll say bye again. I'm very much a no, you hang up, no, you hang up, no, you hang up kind of person, even if there's no one talking to me. That's it for today. Gifts will follow. Please leave me a comment. I hope you guys have a great Friday and great weekend. I'm gonna have a great Monday and a great birthday. Hopefully I will be able to join Laura and Christiane in the live tonight, like in the comments, not actually on video. But yeah, thanks for being here. Hopefully the next one will be a little less all over the place. All right, love you besties. See you later. Bye.